Yeah, thank you, Robert, and good morning, Uganda. Good morning, everybody. Actually, it's a great time to promote ICT in the world. It's good that Excellency is doing so as well. I'm proud of that. Yeah.
Actually, he looks at it as one of the 4 or 5 pillars that will cause socio-economic transformation in this country, Uganda.
Actually, after agriculture, it should be the second sector, I think.
Now, Martin, to begin with, when you talk about digital research or doing research using digital means, what are we referring to?
Yeah, we have research in non-digital form. That is the traditional way. You know, our great-grandfathers would write on stones to keep record. Also, at the same time, we moved into writing on different forms, tablets. We moved into books. But now we have technology. The ICT, just like you have said, has grown so much. So research is part of what moves life. Every time we grow, it's out of a research, out of finding what we were doing well and how to improve on it so that we can move forward. So doing it the digital way means that we are educating use of papers and use a lot of materials and so on, and use technologies, latest technologies like smartphones, which can be adapted to carrying out research, and also improving on the speed of research by using capabilities of computers which have grown so much. So it has helped a lot. It has sped up a lot of research processes. It used to take maybe 2-3 years to do a research, but now we can do it in a week. Yeah.
Now, when you talk about being able to do research in a week, it takes me to understand how long or what does it require for someone who is going to conduct digital research?
Yeah, so conducting research can be broken into stages. There is the planning stage. So in that, you have to look at the resources, which community you're going to, what time is proper, and so on. So that may take, most organizations take about maybe 3 months to plan, and then executing it maybe 1 or 2 weeks to execute the research itself. So planning may take a bit of time, like about 3 months, preparing the questionnaire, mobilizing resources, organizing the logistics about transport, transportation, looking at recruiting of the team, and so on. So tentatively, research, according to the current situation, the real execution takes about 1 to 2 weeks, or a long research would take a month or more. But basically, planning itself is what takes time. Yeah. Execution
now,
is much
we
faster.
know that research is very expensive. Many people will tell you, we invest so much in research. Of course, it gives us so much and saves us so much. But are there any available ways of making research less expensive?
Well, we actually currently digital means are very much cheaper.
Sure.
Yes.
I don't think they're more expensive.
No, it's a lot cheap. You see that traditionally you would be able to, I could take you back maybe like 20, 30 years ago. You would be able to print papers, send a team to the field to collect data, they come back. So another team enters the data, another team does what we call double data entry to cross-check errors and so on. And then you move on ahead to start the analysis process. So that was much longer. But nowadays, those stages are cut out. When you prepare your team, they have a smartphone, they have a tablet to collect data. This data can be uploaded to the server while they're in the field, and right away you get results analyzed. So you cut down a lot of cost. So the computers have grown in capability. It's much cheaper. So you only need a set of team who can go and interact with the community. And then you cut down a lot of costs. So one of the ways is that if you're still doing research the old way, it's a good time. You're investing a lot of money to do that. So you need to move to the digital means and use the latest technology to promote to reduce on the cost. But also looking at the cost itself, you talked of cost cutting. we have different methods of research. The most common one that normally people do is one-on-one, like I'm seated, we are talking. And of course, it's the most expensive method, but it's the most effective. I could share with you other methods as well. We have if you go into a community and you want to do research with, let's say, farmers, or you're talking about mothers, you're talking about breastfeeding and so on. Sometimes you may not need to send a team to go to these people. If they have access to phones, you do not need a smartphone as such. Like I have a small feature phone here. This is called, you said it's a cartouche. Yeah.
The one His Excellency holds.
Oh, the Excellency owns this.
And yesterday he explained why he doesn't hold a smartphone, and told us if he needs something to know what is happening, he has the lady that keeps on updating him.
So the lady has a smartphone? Or?
Yes, the lady has a smartphone. It was, when I looked at it, it was actually an iPhone.
Okay.
But His Excellency explain why he holds that.
Why he holds this?
That is the phone he holds.
Okay, me, I have both, so maybe I could lend him one. Yeah, so most of our people in the community are like the Excellency, so they own phones like this. While for people who are more advanced, literate, and who have more money, they can have smartphones. So they have more features. So the second method of research which I was talking about is using USSD. So you know, people buy airtime. They dial a number, they have a choice to make. They go to the next one, they're presented with the next choice. So those ones can be harnessed. It's much cheaper to do that. So you do not need to send a team to the field. You do not need transport. You only need a team to program this and then have a code publicized. So people can go in, and you can collect massive number of data within just a short time, maybe an hour or within a day or two. You'll have got thousands of responses if you advertise it well. And it is less cheaper. Normally research which is involving one-on-one costs about like per question, estimated based on a lot of things. It would cost around $15, which is around 60,000 Uganda shillings per questionnaire. So you're factoring in someone, you're paying the person who is going to do the interview. You're also at the same time paying transport. Then you need a community mobilizer whom you need to pay. And there are a lot of logistics around, and sometimes you have to give incentives to the respondents. So approximately one questionnaire costs around $15, so around 60,000. So you find that somebody doing 10 questions per day, that's around 600,000 you're spending per day to do research. So that's around like $150. So if you look at the alternative way of doing research using USSD, you could spend about $4 just for the phone calls, and maybe for the cases where you need to give incentives, you could send somebody airtime to appreciate them when they finish the interview. Definitely. So that would be like maybe $2. That's around what you're spending, like around 15,000 shillings per question. So that's another alternative. But we have many more means. If I can give more. We are looking at using SMS as well. We are still talking about the people who are having feature phones like the Excellency you said. So they can just receive an SMS, reply to it. The next SMS comes in form of a question, they reply to it until the interview is done. There are more I can continue to.
Well, so that is evidence that is digital research, or the modern way of doing research, is cheaper and time-saving, like you rightly said. While we are looking at doing research in the digital way, because we are saying the world is moving at a terrific speed. We can no longer spend time carrying out research the way we used to. And actually in school, the way we are trained, you know, the way you're going to carry out your research, the way you're going to do your dissertation, it is still the traditional way of doing things. But when you were speaking, you talked about using a smartphone.
Yeah.
So can I carry out an entire research with my normal smartphone?
That maybe two things I could factor in if someone wants to use their smartphone. The things that you have to look at is that do you have space in the phone to actually accommodate the app? I can tell you, I had a colleague, there's a lady who came and showed me that her computer was full. And I was like, okay, let's try to analyze what was consuming the computer. I found she had 80 gigabytes of WhatsApp messages. The computer ran out of space. So I said, what happens to your phone if the computer has run out of space? So people nowadays have a lot of communications. So and all these social media and so on fill up space. People are getting videos and so on being shared with them. So this fill up space. Of course, these phones are smarter to reach a certain capacity and cut you out.
Yes.
Yeah. So that it can at least work, make calls and so on. So one of the things you need to factor in is that do you have space in your phone to conduct the research? And if you're an organization, okay, if you're an individual, that one you can manage. You can delete your pictures and some photos and videos and so on, and you continue. But if you're an organization, you wouldn't wish to go maybe to the phones of the people who are going to conduct interviews. It's better to hire tablets. It's much cheaper. Like currently we have tablets. I can
just like mine here.
I carried mine also. A tablet like this you would hire just for 10,000 shillings per day. That's around like $3 per day. But of course, somebody using a phone, the phone, you would save that cost. Though you know nowadays our young people, because they're the ones we use for collecting data. They have a lot of social media work, chats going on, people are sending them messages. So in the middle of the interview, somebody's using their phone, and they get a message for a wedding meeting and so on. They branch a bit and read through. So you find that the interviews actually take much longer because they have to bridge in between reading the chat messages or attending to what is going on their phones at the same time attending to the respondent. So you find that sometimes respondents would also get a bit fatigued on that, but it's cheaper. If you get people who are disciplined enough, it's much cheaper for them to use their phones to conduct a research. It all works. They have space. Then also at the same time, it has battery which is enough to take you throughout the day. Sometimes we give what we have as power banks, which normally when people run out of battery, they can plug it in and charge. Like this one could charge like about 4 phones full in a day. So if you have such as well, so what we normally do is to package the two. The tablet like this takes about one day and some few hours beyond to conduct a research. If you're in a place where there is low power availability, it would help. So if you're conducting a research with your smartphone, you have to factor in that your battery can take you there all day. Secondly, you have space. And of course, there's that discipline which has to be factored in that maybe you put off you put it to flight mode. Flight mode was used for...
So that you're not inconvenienced.
Yeah, it was used for aeroplanes, but now we can use it in the village as well.
Now, Ogwal, what happens in an area where there is no internet connection? Yes, government of Uganda has done so much as far as extending the cable network or the fiber network, but also in hard-to-reach areas, they have tried and they are doing much to apply satellite. But still, we have a long journey to go. So you have areas where if you get there, your smartphone may be, there is no reach of internet, it doesn't. So if I am to carry out this research, and maybe we have to go, sometimes organizations are doing research in very remote areas. They want to go and do something about the Batwa community, the Iki people, you know, where it's hard to find internet connection. So what does that mean? Does it mean that digital research cannot be done? Research can't be done using this modern method?
Yeah, so the digital research may not necessarily mean that you need to have internet constantly connected, or you need network for phones to do it. The apps, like the way we do, works offline. All you need is your phone, and it has battery. It has power. So those are the only two things, which of course, they had to reach areas. It's okay, you charge your phone, go in, you have a power bank, like I was showing, in case you do not charge your phone. But most of the time, we find that the people who are collecting data stays in a nearby center where they can access where to charge the phones, where to charge the tablets. We have got solar integration. A lot of communities have solar now to charge phones and so on. But basically, you do not need internet to collect the data. You need internet to upload what you have already collected. And that one, we normally advise that you do it in an evening after you have already finished all the interviews, when you get access to where there is network. If at all for 2-3 days you do not have access to internet because the community is having no coverage, it's fine. Whenever you get access to internet, you upload the data itself. So it is, you do not need to worry. Please feel free to go in those hard-to-reach communities. Like which one you say, the Vatwa community?
The Iki people, the Vatwa.
Oh yeah, so do not worry. Go to the Vatwa, go and conduct your research. Come and we give you a tool.
Now that you've mentioned a tool, that brings me, are there specific softwares that have to be applied? If they are they affordable? Yeah, the software comes in two ways. The software to collect data itself. Most of the software designed for collecting data they're normally free. The affordability part, that one you can put it aside. Now, the part that comes in is the skill. Do you have the skill to make it work? So that is where you need experts to actually help in programming these. So software like CS Pro, they're freely available. You need technical skill to program it. That's where you'll come and consult a team like our team to make sure this is working well. ODK, Survey CTO, all the software are available and they are what we call open source. They are free in the market. So you can go and download, program it if you have the skill, and go to the field and collect data. For effective research, you need experts who can handle that. So the affordability bit is a bit of bringing in the skill part of it. Yeah, so the software is free. The software is free. Now, to what extent have Ugandans embraced this? We are good at embracing new things, but over your experience with mood technology, organizations, companies, students, how have we really picked up this?
You know, you talked about the cost part of the research. So the people who have actually tried it once have never gone back. So Ugandans are adopting it so fast. The people who are not yet aware of the cost-saving bit in using digital means are the ones we need to reach out to. So the rate of adopting new technology is really growing fast. And also we have a lot of our youth nowadays want smartphones, of course for different reasons. Some of them want for connecting to friends, social, and so on. But that is a good thing in that we can now adapt that to research. So the uptake of using digital means to do research is growing so fast. Worldwide, Uganda is part of that. So yeah, a good. I think in about maybe few years, 2-3 years, we shouldn't be seeing papers around print. We can save our environment. I see there is promotion for...
So much stationery goes into doing research, by the way.
Yes, a lot of printing, and it's not only that. You're spending on stationery, you're spending money on the printing, and so on. This is cost which you do not need. You have a smart tablet there, so all you need is to charge it.
All seems and sounds rosy, but let's look at some of the challenges. Definitely, I want to believe that they are when you're using a digital research. What could be or what are the challenges?
So one of the things is that you need the expertise, of course, to design this. And since you're going to be conducting research using a smartphone or a tablet, you need to train the team well. Because naturally, we love interacting. If somebody bridges between you and a device and keeps talking, you feel like they're not attending to you. If you took somebody for a party and then they're all like this, you'd feel a bit disappointed.
Oh, my brother, of late we see so many people, they decide to go out and each one was on their phone, and you wonder, why then have they decided to go?
Yeah, so it's the hosts.
Now I'm just seeing when I go to collect data information from someone, and all the time I'm on my gadget. Your name? How many children do you have?
Yeah, so that is where the training bit comes in. We train the team on how to interact with technology at the same time being human. So that is a key component to involve in training the people. So we know we are still human, no matter, even if we go to the moon or go where, we are still human. We love interacting. The social media has come. Actually, I've seen we have nowadays like Zoom meetings, Microsoft Teams. When people are talking to audio, it just feels like the meeting is not really flowing. But where people have video calls and so on, it flows much better. So there is that humanness everywhere. So in the research, we need to factor in that we're going to be talking to people who are also getting used to technologies. We talked about them having our feature phones with buttons and so on. They are still coping up with technologies. So we need to train our team. We need to make sure that we have the devices. You have the tablets to collect the data. So that is maybe one of the challenges that we have. And you need a power source. You need to charge these devices. If you go with them, they're smart, all right, they're also smart, they use power. So if you go to a place where you do not have access to charging them, it becomes complicated. Then also factoring in that these devices, like we talked about storage space, they need space. Sometimes you're doing audio recordings for interviews and so on, so you need space in the device itself. So when you're doing a digital research, you factor in those kind of things. Like for us, first of all, we say, first bring the devices, or let us have access to the devices we're going to use. So we are looking for space, we are looking at how long the battery can take, we are looking at the kind of community you're going to, and so on. So then there is a component of making the questions simple. You know, we are having a person who is interviewing, another one interacting, and having a device in between them. So we need to make the questions simple so that they are not so much stuck to the screen, reading the questions throughout. You said, how old are you, and so on. You're trying to sample some questions. So we have to make sure it is simple enough to flow. You look at it, the questions are straightforward and well designed, so that you switch back to interaction and, and taking the answers. So those are a few areas that could be addressed as challenges in the digital, but the benefits way outweigh all of this.
Now, how does this support our monitoring and evaluation? Because we've seen, I'll speak for some areas that we know very well, that government has so many projects, but there's always a challenge with monitoring and evaluation, where either the people may not be that very accurate at it. So how does doing research using modern technology assist in that area? Can it be a problem solver?
If you talk of monitoring and evaluation, it's a bit of a long-term project. Let's take a case in point. You want to construct a house. I'm putting it very simple. That's not that's not a project for an organization. Maybe some organizations doing house construction, but a simple thing like you're constructing a family house. You need to know how many strips of bricks you have has been delivered. You need to know what stage it is, how much cement has been used, and so on at every stage. So you're sort of monitoring the project and weighing it against the timeline you have set. So if you had, they call the foreman, the one who is overseeing the site, having a smartphone and say, oh, today they have brought 2 trips of sand, he factors in. You're in Kampala, you can see. You had budgeted for maybe 50 trips, you see 2 down the road, look at your budget and so on. So the digital means can be integrated in real-time project monitoring. Projects do activities. People go in the villages, they go and train farmers. You want to know how many farmers are trained, were trained today. If we are targeting to reach 500 farmers in the first year, because most projects actually take like 5 years. So you set your target, you say in the first year I want to achieve, maybe if I have 500 farmers, maybe I want to make sure that in the first year I have 100 farmers trained. In the second year, in the third year, and then you weigh against your achievements. So just like the person constructing a house, you say, I want to sleep in my house in 3 years. In the first year, what have I done? Are we having the foundation done? Are we at the, is it called the wall?
The beam level?
The beam level. Have we done the roofing and so on? Is it ready to sleep in? Your children would put you under pressure. Let's say, Daddy, you have said we are going to sleep in the house. Can we go and sleep next month? You say, by the way, we have 3 years to go. So you show the progress. So for projects, it is very important to integrate digital means to monitor each stage of the project. It's a lot difficult, actually. A number of times people end up to do quarterly reports, and they find they have no data. Totally, the project has been going on, activities have been going, you've spent field, you've sent a lot of team on the ground and so on, but there's nothing to show you back that there is progress apart from the words they will bring back to you. So if they go in and have smart devices to say, today have done this, they record it. Bit by bit, you find that all this compile and becomes a huge amount of data, which a system for monitoring and evaluation helps you to actually weigh the progress and real time. And it's very important in project monitoring.
Now, for the time I've known about digital research, your team, your colleagues have been at the forefront pushing for this. So in any way, how have you helped people as Mu Technologies?
So we have actually, like now you're reaching out to many people. We would like people to save costs. Research doesn't have to be so expensive. That's one thing we have come in. Actually, in 2006, we had a team come to ask us to just put questions in Microsoft Word so that they go and type. By then, they did not have smartphones. So they have a laptop. Somebody has a laptop that has a battery which can take 2 hours. They go and try to type this before the farmer. So you can see that people are really looking towards saving costs and moving towards technology. That was then. Nowadays, we have gone much smarter. So one of the things that we are doing is that from stage 1, we look at the questionnaire design stage itself. Are the questions well formulated? Are they coordinated? Are they flowing? That is one thing, because by the time of putting the questions, most of the time the people who are the team leaders would want the questions in. No matter where it is in the questionnaire, the question should be in. Now we come in and say, wait a minute, the question is in, but does it flow? Are you asking for somebody's household assets and then jumping to the child's health, then jumping back to how many chickens they have?
Just reminded me, we are going to be having a census hopefully next year. Now, I remember when these people would come home and the burden they would go through asking some questions to some members of the community.
Yes.
And flow is very important to know which will be the last and what to begin with. Yeah. I remember a gentleman who was asked his age, and I thought age has no problem to men. I was like, maybe if that could have come still somewhere.
Yeah, so as you've said, questionnaire flow is very important. So that's where we start, stage 1. The questions are okay, but do they coordinate one question to the next one? Does it flow? So that logical flow of question is where we start from. So we start by reorganizing the whole questionnaire. Then we go to digitizing it. Of course, eliminating repetitions, because sometimes when people are putting question, the question in page 2 looks more like question in page 17. So we eliminate duplication so that the respondent doesn't say, but I've already answered that. I've already, then they get annoyed. The question should be not be repeated. Then we look at now digitizing, putting the proper skips, which question shouldn't be asked following which one. If you're talking to a man, you shouldn't ask them if they're pregnant or not. That is for a woman. So such questions you skip based on who you're talking to. Then now comes the bit of real-time monitoring. We provide you an online dashboard where you can monitor progress of your survey real-time. What has happened today? How is my data flowing? So we give that result. And by the way, we give it for free. And that one is part of it is about results. People do data analysis. Data analysis is expensive. People spend thousands of dollars. Actually, you spend a minimum of $1,000 in, that is about 3.7 million to analyze a small amount of data. So we say, why not? We have technologies. Let people just go and download their data. And so long as we have designed the tool well, and they can access this online and just download it. So we are trying to see that we cut a lot of costs for people who are doing research in so many ways. Then, of course, we have issues of where have you conducted the research. So these smart devices have GPS capabilities. So we program them to automatically tag locations for different studies.
So that you're not deceived, I was in Kayunga, yet I just sat at the comfort of my home, interviewed a few people within the community and named the research findings from Kayunga.
That's what people used to do.
And no, it's not what they used to do. Even today, we still have crafty Ugandans who do not look at the relevancy of the tasks ahead of them.
That is true. So now, if you are a supervisor, you should be very happy for us to activate GPS capability, because there is no way you're going to edit GPS in your house and it lands exactly in Kayunga. But because those features, we automate it, so you're not going to be editing it. So if you're in your house, you better tell the truth that I've not gone to the field. So those things of forging data is eliminated, because every questionnaire you present will, at the end of it, take GPS reading of where you did it. So the people who are monitoring the data actually have a lot of freedom of mind, knowing that the work is being done. You said Kayunga, and you're seeing GPS plots all coming from Kayunga. If somebody moves to another town like Jinja, and they're trying to do it from there, immediately it will plot that this research was done in Jinja. So we provide those capabilities for you to monitor. So you can go for a holiday and just keep swiping on your smart device to see how the research is progressing. So we're really trying to see that we have research very easy and very smart for people. It's easing everybody's life, saving cost, giving reality, making data quite clean. Because also there is, I had not talked to you about this, there is data cleaning which is normally done in research. That means there are a lot of data which doesn't fall within the community. If people have, most people in the community have 5 cows, somebody has 150. So it could be something to be checked and cleaned in the data, because it represents making an average of people having so many cows in a community when it's not actually the reality. It could be one person, or it could be an error somebody typed while entering the data. Instead of entering 15, they entered 150. So we do a lot of that control checks for data while you are doing interview real time.
Okay.
So A lot of burden is reduced. Data
Well,
cleaning
time
is
seems
less.
to be flying, not even running. Now, before I let you go, let me get your parting shots. Do you have a website or something like that? If someone needed to know more about how best they can go about digital research.
Yeah, you can visit us on www.mt, MT for Mood Technologies,
Yes.
.co.ug. Just go there, you'll get our contacts, you'll be able to get our emails, you'll be able to see some of the research which has been done. If you're looking for data and you do not have money to conduct a research, you can go and have access and get some of the research which has been done. Some of the people allow us to publish their research for free on the website. So you can go and use it for students who want to do research and they do not have money. And the research already on our website tallies to what you want. It's fine, just go and download.
Well, thank you so much, Martin Ogwal, CEO of Mood Technologies. We've been looking at digitalizing research, moving away from the ordinary analog way, paper, so much stationary, moving, and looking at what is time saving as well as money saving.